You look down at today is February 26th. Hey everybody, my name is Newman. It's Thursday. It's 14:30 UTC. It is Open Spaces with the Gimbalabs Network. We are a network. And if you, Mr. or Miss, Mrs., Ms., Doctor, Professor, PhD, if you are willing to commit for the next 90 minutes, you know, we can merge some learning and coordinate decision making from all the branches of the Gimbal Labs community. We're not on GitHub at the moment, but we do come together. It is like a hub where we stay connected, we share updates, we explore new ideas, and we do this consent-based governance thing. We're decentralized, but I am talking right now. So I guess one of us has to take the microphone. And when we do it. Why we do it is to keep aligned with our purpose. And that purpose is to provide open, replicable, and safe spaces for people everywhere to learn, to explore, empower one another, solve meaningful problems. And that's the intro. Harsha, does that sound like a pretty good intro?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
That gets the job done.
Yeah.
Today is the last Thursday of the month, and sort of by structure, we do a monthly review. So today, during the meat of the meeting, we'll go through our big project board on Notion, and we'll see where we are with all the different projects. At next, the next thing is announcements. So for everybody that is here, like I see Roberto and Lewis and James and Emmanuel and Andrew, do you have any announcements? And these can be like, you know, something's happening soon, something that's happening off into in the next few months. Are there any announcements going on?
I can say that the Damio Pioneers program
Yes.
has officially kicked off Tuesdays at 1700 UTC. Let me
Yeah.
just check that.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
1700
Yeah.
UTC. We normally announce it on our Discord. So let me put the invite on the chat. We have a Pioneers channel. We're also trying to publish as quickly as possible the YouTube recording. So if you find you want to look for Andamio on YouTube, we're posting the recordings there as well. If you missed it, you can just review. There's all
Nice.
sorts of resources. There's a repo that you can check out. So yeah, so feel free to drop by the Discord, give us a hey. Have any
Nice.
questions, you can ask for help and all that stuff. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some of you there next week.
Ah, beautiful. I will be there. I will be there. All right. Um, Lewis has put down in the chat the Kenya Blockchain and Crypto Conference, and there is a link there. I believe that's coming up in May. Lewis, you know the dates off the top of your head? 13.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, James. So this is happening on the 14th and 15th of May, which is ironically within the after the 10 weeks of the Endowment Pioneer Program. I don't
Oh,
know, man.
that's pretty cool.
Just thinking
Perfect.
about it.
That's great news.
10 weeks. Okay.
The
Um,
timing is just right. So definitely by then I'll have way more information than I do right now. So
that's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. Um, the big announcement that I've got, and I know we'll talk about it, is this Project Catalyst is going on a bit of a longer term hiatus. We got an X post that explains some more details than original, but it feels like it's indefinitely and could be in the longer than a few months category of what Catalyst is doing. Um, we can talk more about that. I'm hoping that we get into a good conversation about that because it definitely impacts um, And let me post this this X link. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Well, that's in the chat. Suppose I could share screen, but any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay. Where should I go? While I got the screen set up, I want to open up this blockchain, Kenya blockchain.
Aomi has her hand up.
Oh, Aomi, what's going on?
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you for showing up last week, Thursday. Uh, I mean, for accepting my invitation. Thank you. And I also appreciate everyone that joined the X space. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I saw Aomi and I wanted to show the this kind of gets into our pioneer program. Oh, can I bring it up quickly enough? Um, where was it? Ah, let's go here. Damio, pioneer. Because I saw your um your issue up here. So this is our first part, and there's Aomi.
Yeah, thank you both. That's really
Yeah, but I wanted to wow, yeah, this is cool. This is part of the project, and thank you, Aomi. You've been really, really fun. That was super great. And we can go back and listen to that X space. And I do think, I mean, Harsha, you were there. I think maybe was Roberto there. Somebody, there's a couple of other people there, and it feels like we got to like, at least personally, like what Gimbal Labs means to me. And yeah, so I felt like it was really worthwhile. It would be interesting to go back and listen to it. Actually, that would be one that I wouldn't mind listening to. I feel like my voice came through there. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, and when
Yeah,
was this?
it was last Thursday.
Oh,
It was
great.
last Thursday. Yeah. And Aomi, is it every week or every other week that you highlight?
Okay, actually, the X space is every week, but the one for um license project is just once in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if we can find you. There you are. Yeah, this is yeah, this one. This space. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll drop this. I'll drop this in the chat. All right. And next, so those are three announcements. But Aomi's space. And what time is it again? I don't have it right here. 8
8 p.m.
p.m. 8 p.m. UTC. Sweet. On X. Okay. Let's see. So we've done announcements, unless there's any other announcements looking around. Might be time for DREP time.
Sounds good.
Let's, you want to drop that link in and go for it, and I'll set a little timer. What timer do you need?
I just need a 5-minute timer for presenting the proposal and a 5-minute timer for discussions.
Okay, cool.
And there is a repo created inside the Gimbalabs GitHub where we just made like a repository just for the summaries. You can read today's summary over there. In the meantime, I'll also share my screen.
Nice. Thanks, man.
So today we'll be going through this proposal, which is reduce minimum constitutional committee size from 75. Newman, let me know when you started the timer.
I'm sorry. I got it. Yep, you're on it. Go for it. You got 5 minutes.
All right.
Let's see.
Cool. So Let me give you like a really quick summary of what this proposal is about. So this proposal is basically saying the committee's minimum size should be reduced to 5 from 7. So before we understand this, we need to understand like three key points. One is the committee size. One is the minimum committee size, and one is the minimum number of votes needed to pass. Okay, so the committee size is the current committee size, 7 members. The minimum committee size is the smallest size that a committee can be at any point in time. Say, for example, 2 members dropped from the committee at this point, and then we'll have 5 members, and still the committee will be functional. Okay, so the reason they even put this proposal forward is because the minimum committee size currently is 7, and recently one of the committee members dropped, and everything came to a standstill. That means no proposal can pass in the governance side of the Cardano. So what they're trying to do is make things more lively. So even if 1 or 2 people drop off, things can still move forward. So that's the whole point of these reducing the minimum committee size from 7 to 5, and it's just a simple parameter. It's just a number that changes from 7 to 5. And the guardrails are these: the committee size, minimum committee size cannot drop below 3, and it cannot go above 10. So we are still in the guardrails. So that is the thing. And the minimum vote. So the voting percentage is 66.7%. That means whatever is the current committee size, not the minimum committee size, whatever is the current committee size, 66%, 66.7% needs to vote for a vote to pass or fail. So those are the things that you needed to know. And I'm pretty much done at this point. So now is a good time to ask questions if I ran through something too quickly or if something's not making sense.
Someone remind me what's the constitutional committee? What's their job?
Ooh, good question.
So I didn't dig too deep into that. One thing I know is that they have to vote on proposals, and there are some kinds of proposals they have to vote on, but that's all I know. Is there anyone else who can answer that like better than I can?
So I think that they have their, on each vote they submit, on every proposal they submit, and it's sort of like a Supreme Court type of thing where they say, is it constitutional or not? I think.
Exactly. So Cardano has a tri-cameral governance system, right? We've got the D-reps, but then we also have the SPOs who run the infrastructure itself, and then we have the Constitutional Committee. And each one plays a different role and is prioritized in different kinds of decisions, right? So D-reps vote, to oversimplify a little bit, D-reps vote yes or no that this motion should pass, but the Constitutional Committee has to vet whether the vote is constitutional in the first place.
Okay. So it is what I remember. Does anyone know why the constitutional member dropped out?
Well, wasn't it 3 of them? Wasn't it an actual? Because
I think
So I kind of like went through the story. So one of them dropped out, and because one of them dropped out, I don't know why they dropped out, but they dropped out and everything came to a standstill. So they had to put in a new proposal to immediately add one more number, and I think it was Christina from Blink
Blink
Labs.
Labs.
Yeah, that jumped in, and like now they're trying to like change the number minimum size to 5 so that that doesn't happen again.
am I
Right.
also thinking that some of these votes? So say, all right, let's say it was one vote that's dropped out, but it's actually an alliance of people. So isn't there like an Eastern Cardano alliance, an Atlantic Cardano alliance, and that's who dropped out, and that they were a group of 3 or 4 people.
Right.
Yeah,
I
they are
saw
a group
something
of
about
3 or 4
Utah
people,
telling
but it's just one seat. It's just
represented one
committee.
seat.
Yeah.
And they dropped out, and now they can't make decisions. That's kind of weird because the minimum quorum is 7. It can be
Right.
more, but the minimum is 7.
Yes.
Well, all right. Let's do
Is that
well, that was
is
just
it
the first 5 minutes. Let's do another five
okay?
minutes of discussion. Yeah, sure enough.
Okay, cool.
I wonder if
I'm gonna Google that now.
have there been others? So, like, why? I wonder why this caused such a problem. Like, I don't
So
know.
because it is all on chain, like, right? It's not
No, no,
like
no.
a
But
human. Yeah.
like, if 7 is the minimum quorum, shouldn't there be like 10 members so that this doesn't happen? Like, if you shouldn't have just the minimum in your committee, if that's gonna like mess up your whole process, you should have like 10. So one drops out, that's fine because you can still make decisions. But if so, what happens, for example, we drop the minimum quorum to 5, and then the same thing happens, and the
So
same
now
5.
the committee size is still 7. So there's a chance, like an extra space
Also,
for two
they're
people.
creating that little buffer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is it this? Is there no interest that we can only get like 5 people or 7 people? Like no more people? Then my point goes to like we're supposed to be this decentralized system, and there's like thousands of people participating, and yet every time these kinds of things happen, the first reaction seems to be let's concentrate this a little bit more. Let's put this in the hands of a smaller group of people. And I wonder if there's been any other solutions proposed to this problem that might get to I'm just trying to understand what's the root of the problem, because I don't like that the Constitutional Committee, which basically is the last safeguard against something unconstitutional happening, which, whatever, might not happen. It's not a matter of not trusting the people in the committee or whatever, falling
No,
into less and
but
less
the
hands.
constitutional committee is just one part of it, no? Because all other groups have to vote on it as well, right? Like,
But the Constitutional Committee can tell you if something is unconstitutional. So you can have a DREP vote that says yes, but if that vote yes goes against the Constitution, the final say is Constitutional Committee. You cannot. It's like the Supreme Court, right? The Supreme Court says it's unconstitutional. You just can't do it. It doesn't matter if the DREPs voted yes or no.
correct.
But
But
that's kind of yeah.
well, so a common thread is we know this experience firsthand, right? We built a tool to try to distribute Gimbalabs DREP decision making, and we've all found firsthand that, damn, that's a lot of work, and it's hard to make time and space for it. And that's my understanding of what happened on the last iteration of the Constitutional Committee, is it just is the people who probably had the best intentions when they jumped into it didn't have the capacity to really do the job.
Because they're not paid
So,
positions.
Well,
Is that the point?
and that's the easy conclusion to jump to. Of course, that's true. And is that the whole story, right? Like, so now comes the creative part of like, okay, well, what are we going to do about it?
so yeah. Right now, I'm currently on the Cardano Atlantic Council's Twitter account. On the reason they actually dropped was because of okay. I would have to read it aloud. They said the current CC compensation governance proposal is unlikely to pass based on the vote tally and rationales, which is according to Cardano Atlantic will retire because of this voting not passed. So I think the reason why Cardano Atlantic actually retired was because of the compensation of the CC, which did not pass. Like they need compensation actually for the Cardano constitution to keep running.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm reading it as well, and just the thing on it is that so it's a compilation of 5 people, while most of the other seats are just one person. So if they've obviously set up as a 5-person council representing one seat, but they'll just get compensated for the one split between 5. So it's probably
Right.
a great implementation of the seat, dropping us all in it. I'm at a stage of my life where I've got a bit less Fs to give, and I'm just looking at the compilation of who's in it. And it's some people who've done very well out of Cardano over the last few years, so it's a bit frustrating to read it actually.
So they
Yeah.
are getting paid.
They're getting paid, but it's one seat, but there's 5 people representing the seat.
Yeah, they try to split the work between 5 people, but then they're not happy because they're not getting paid enough between the 5 with the one seat.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna.
Yep. I'm gonna cut this conversation off because I want to keep it strictly at 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it works. That is sort of like, oh, look, there's things that are going on. One thing that I do want, just as a little coda, as a little end piece, if you go, basically, we can look at the rationales. And let me share my screen really quick. We can look at the rationales, but in the here, it's basically, I think it's been moved over to, we can't vote on it anymore. It's the status is listed here in the CGov, as dropped. And I think it was because the Constitutional Committee called it unconstitutional. So it still has it got dropped somehow.
Oh,
So
I
there's,
didn't even know you could do that. You could drop
yeah,
things.
I had
Okay.
no idea
So
either.
the
But
Constitutional Committee said that the proposal to reduce the committee size was unconstitutional. That is awesome.
I kind of, that seems odd. I don't know if that's exactly what is going on. Let's look here. So the D-reps, had this percentage no, and the Constitutional Committee had this percentage no. But I don't know if they voted and then dropped it. So there's a little bit of, yeah. But that does that does sort of beg the question, yeah. But another thing that I want to show you, as I know we're moving on from this, is you can look at other people's work. You can look at the rationales. So here, DREP 42 said it's not a bad idea. I think the minimum constitution meeting size of 5 is too small. If we wanted to add build resistance, we should increase the total committee members to 9 and then make
Which
7
is exactly what Roberto was proposing. Yeah.
There we go. So this is kind of a fun way to sort of see what is happening. And so our little proposal of making this time is working. And we spent
Yeah.
12 minutes on it.
Today you don't
that's
have
good.
to do anything after this because the proposal was dropped. But in general, it'd be good for all of you guys to go vote in the DREP platform, Gimbalabs DREP platform. So Gimbalabs knows which way to vote. Eventually, right now we are not voting, but like eventually, if there's enough quorum, we'll go vote as a DREP.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. That is this one. Remember that. Okay. Next week we'll do there's the next one that is up. We'll do if you want to follow along at home, we'll do this net change limit of 300 million. That one's still active and still good to go. We'll dig down into it, and based on this, I'll prepare something that can kind of get us into the discussion. Well done, bravo, guys. All right, what next?
James asked a question. I don't know if anyone wants to answer that. What historical?
Just pinning it for later.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let's see. In our agenda, we did a check-in. We did announcements. We did our DREP thing. Are there any proposals that are out there? Anybody been working on their proposal? That's totally cool if you don't, because we can and should spend most of our time doing the review projects. This is the one that we're in right today. Yeah. And anybody out there? Dun, dun. Okay. Feels like you all want to go to the big giant board. Remember this. So segment, cue the segment music. This is monthly review time. And we look at our big project board on Notion, and you can see all the projects that are in these various states. Like here are planning proposals. We can check through these on occasion, and we might in a little bit. There are proposals that are ready for review or that are in some state of the consent process. I think all of these have done some type of presentation or are in like in that process of the consent decision. But these are the ones we want to focus in on first. There are 10 of them. And these are all the projects that are ongoing and currently, underway. People, Gimbalabs members, people on your left and right or up and down, if you're looking at the participants window of Zoom, are working on these projects. And so let's just go through them one by one and see where we are. Which space is F14? Harsha, this is
Yes,
our
so we are done with, like I said, like the first milestone is done, but we are just waiting on receiving the money. And we are almost ready for the second milestone. I just had to put in like a change request, and I think it's recently been approved. So I'm just waiting on that to get confirmed. And then I'll start putting in the second and third milestones. Third milestone, so will be the final milestone will be in April. But the second milestone will be in like a couple of days.
Okay. Okay. So the last milestone will be in April?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. And this one, just as we refresh, this is for like basically all of the spaces that we're doing. Because I
Yes.
know that in here we've got we're tracking the community code review. Um the ones that are happening on Wednesday, but this is also for the Tuesday and for the 45B the work that we're doing. And I guess open spaces, maybe. Okay. So that is good, but there's no blockers. Everything is going
No.
along pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's see. Harsha updated today. Thank you, Harsha.
Yep.
All right. And what is next? Let's use this little function. So now we're in the hosting open spaces. I think that one is going well. We're doing that right now. And the funding will come from that sustain and maintain the which spaces.
Yeah, and we are putting in the tweets every week. We haven't stopped at any point.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I guess we could put in that I think that this DREP, the DREP addition to that, whoever like made a proposal that kind of adds on to that is a pretty cool thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's been a long time. I'm happy to see that one come. All right. This next one, the Gimbalabs 45B. How, Aomi and Jethro, and I've been poking my head in there. Aomi, did you go to the last meeting? I know that Lucas is hard at work. He's got many projects going. Aomi or Jethro?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you go last
Um,
time? Yeah. Do you have anything to report?
yeah, I've been attending the meeting and it's been going well.
Okay.
At least we have uh three more persons join us.
Oh,
Aside from
nice.
me, yeah, aside from me and Jethro, sorry. Aside from me and Lucas, we had three more persons join us at the last meeting. And it
Nice.
was fun. We talked about um Cardano, Web3, relationship between Bitcoin and Cardano, and things like that. So it was fun.
Okay. All right, I'm going to put down that it was the good conversations are happening, and I'm kind of. Does the schedule set now? Do you know? Is there like, are you doing it at a specific time? That's the one thing that might be important to sort of share out if others want to join in. We'll look for the time. I asked him because he was sort of
Yes,
still, yeah. If you get it, just send it in the chat and I'll update this. All right. Thanks, Aomi. And then Cardano Go course. Let's see, James, do you want to see how you're feeling about it? Or
Really grateful for the work that Andrew, Newman, you and Harsha have.
Harsha, yeah.
Um, I think it's a really exciting start, and I think this is a really important project. So
Okay.
very excited to have a little bit more time personally to work with it moving forward. Yeah, who has questions about that one?
You guys, are you familiar with this one? It is a new, actually, I guess an update to an older course, and we're just working through trying to get, and it goes back to this fundamental thing about keeping documentation and tutorials up to date. And what I think is actually a really fundamental thing that I'd love to see in Gimbalabs is making courseware for learning new things in a group. And when I see it, I love it. Aomi, what's up?
Yes, I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
The question is, I just wanted to confirm, maybe I'm the one not really getting it. In Gimba Labs, is it like most of the meetings that you have are usually technical? Because I saw Mesh, Aiken, and the like, they are technical. Are they like not technical things as well?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, this space is a
yeah.
non-technical space.
Yeah. Yeah. This sort of would be the a non-technical space, but most are technical in nature.
Yeah, I
Most are
mean,
around building.
just
Yeah.
Gimbal Lab started off as like a dev onboarding organization. Is that right, James? That's right, right? Like initially we started as like a dev onboarding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, are
mean,
we still a dev onboarding thing? I mean,
No.
could be.
I mean, we are that, and this again, like, so this is what I think. All of us, if we are asked to tell what Gimbal Labs is, all of us will have different answers,
Yeah.
and that is the point of Gimbal Labs, I think.
Yeah. It's very Gimbalabsy in my mind. In my mind. Yep.
What I just think is we're all coming to discuss about Cardano, which is a very technical project. So I feel like the space is bound to be technical, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, it gets into the governance and the decentralized governance. So there's like one part builder tech, and then another part of governance and decentralization and the problem solving part, because the tech is a multiplier. And this is something that I discovered was like a moment. I was like, oh yeah, do you can't just build for no reason. It needs something to grow on or in, and decentralization and governance, transparency, coordination, collaboration. Those are the things that I'm interested in. When I think about building something, I generally think about like how to coordinate people and how to, get everyone working in uh not 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 necessarily like in the same system, all are playing the same game, you know. So there's that, but somebody could be building something for their business or for their, for a community or something. Um, so there is that. But that's a good point to bring up about the sort of technical, non-technical nature, Naomi. Yeah, for sure. And this Go course is interesting because it has it's a technical thing, but it's sort of widening the scope and focusing in on this tooling. And it is a part those tools, Apollo and the Blink Labs tooling in Go, it's a structural part. You can see it on on the developers.cardano and around. So it's a big thing. All right. Let's see what's next.
Your screen is not sharing, Newman.
So let me share my screen. So the next one is the DREP community platform.
So that I think
We stalled slightly.
yeah, we
Stalled
stalled
something.
because like we don't know like what we really want to do, like because James recently suggested, hey, what if we build like a little bot where it votes, right? It automatically votes, but for it to automatically vote we need to have like enough Gimbalabs community members
Right.
participating in governance. Otherwise what would it even vote, right? Like
Yeah.
um and that is why we started this whole like 10-minute slot to build
Yeah.
some governance muscle thing. So we'll see where it goes. Right now, I think it is in limbo. What do you guys think, Nelson, Newman, you guys?
And Lewis. Yeah, Lewis. Uh, Go ahead, Nelson, if you listen in. I think that sums up what it is. It's like our blocker was not enough folks participating, so we started a new proposal to sort of get a little bit of time in our governance meetings to sort of show like, hey, it is important, and it's not there's a way to interface with it. And I think based on that first one, I think it'll work. I think it'll get people to say, oh yeah, and I do have an opinion, and it's not just a wall of text like Abiodun Athama said, hey, what's up, brother? Um, and so yeah, like the intervention is working. Nelson, does that sort of fit? And I know that Nelson got super busy with other stuff, perhaps.
Hey guys. Yeah, I think I it hasn't been on my mind lately for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah,
So yeah, I would pretty much like to pick up where you guys are at, and yeah, if we have the next steps, then I'm all for it.
yeah. And I think we could be ready. There's a couple of little things. For instance, I hate that the little Discord bot is just sending out little announcements. I feel like that should be like a requested thing. It's just like, hey, would you tell me what, and it just maybe goes to a private message. So I've got some ideas. I've got a little
Yeah,
backlog.
Lewis has his
One
hand up.
blocker that I do
Yeah.
want to talk about while we're all here with all of our friends and family gathered around is that we sort of said, hey, let's distribute that first tranche because we made the sort of heavy lifting, and we were, in the proposal we were going to do half, and we haven't done that. And that always sort of puts a little wet blanket on my participation. I don't know if getting like paid now would help, but I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It's a bit
getting
of a
paid would help, but we were stuck. The place we were stuck is, how do we get paid? Like, would it just be like random, like, how would we distribute? Like,
yeah.
and
We
I
need to
like
figure
Gimbal
out
Labs
like
process. Yeah, Gimbal Labs is not Gimbal Labs, sorry. Andamio does this, like they have tasks and each task is assigned points,
yeah,
and based on the points they get paid, which I think is a great way to do it, at least in my opinion.
yeah,
Andrew, what are you thinking?
Yeah, guys, for the work you've just, obviously my opinion, but for the work you've done there, you definitely need to get paid for something. It's a really good bit of software. So however you want to do it, but there definitely should be something.
yeah, yeah. And that's something, and that's that. Yeah, I think that now that we sort of established that as a blocker, we'll spend some time and figure out the right way to pay out the first tranche. And there's the four of us that are working, and we've got like task lists. You can look down at the. Although actually, let me
It
make this
works.
bigger.
I've just voted. It's a working product. I mean, I get,
Oh,
I get it's not quite finished the way you want it, but I mean, you've delivered a working. It's
yeah,
not, you
yeah,
definitely need to, yeah, yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So that can be done, Lewis.
Lewis has his hand up.
I don't know if this should fall under question or as a point, but I've also had forgotten about this project, man. Did we used to meet on Wednesdays?
Yeah, before it seems like we
Or was
met
it was it
early.
or
Yeah,
before open spaces?
could have been. I think it was before our typical 14:30 UTC start time. We just sort of tacked it on. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, Yeah, we could
Because
schedule a meeting and try to get all of us together, and we can hash out the payments, and
Yep, yep.
no,
that I
I
think would be
was
the first thing, and
uh,
then
Sounds
we
good.
can
anyway.
also look, just kind of
Before
reassess our backlog. Yeah, go ahead.
before we proceed, Newman. So I was even thinking in regards to Hasha's proposal on getting people to use the DREP platform and the DREP platform. So I was wondering, should we do it during the same open spaces meeting, or do we do it when before, I mean, sorry, do we do it during the DREP meeting, right?
Right,
So
right, right, right.
instead of using up the 20 minutes that would have been used for open spaces and open spaces discussions, do we use
Wait, what? So,
um,
so my
the
question is,
DREP?
Well,
what exactly is open spaces discussions, right? Like, there's no one is like proposals. If anyone has proposals, one is going through what proposals are in progress. Outside of that, everything else is just like whatever we want to do.
I
If it's
meant in
not
terms
working, we can
for,
always
okay.
move it. Like, you know.
Yeah, and then yeah. So I was talking about like you discussing governance issues during the DREP session as opposed to during the open
right.
space session.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was just
yeah, and
thinking of time saving mechanisms.
right, right. And that could be like it could that the DREP conversation sort of overtakes like making proposals and stuff, which isn't necessarily horrible.
And yeah,
The
and that is why we have the 10-minute limit, no? Because that
Yeah,
is why I didn't want it to be
exactly.
like some long
Exactly.
discussion.
This is super time box because again, it's we don't want to. I don't. Yeah, we want to make it a time box. We can extend some things, but
Yeah,
that is a good proposal, Lewis. You're saying basically, hey, does this need more space, and could it be its own meeting? I initially want to like not do more meetings because, but it may be, and it could be something that we dovetail. This is why I just want to yes and your proposal or this idea. It could be that we find the DREP, it could be 45B, because I think they do something where we're like, oh, this is a place to discuss these proposals, and we just find it, meaning that we don't have to create a new meeting from scratch. We don't have to have it in our sort of thing, but we could find a DREP community that is doing it, and then just show up and use it as our sort of scaffold. Um, I feel like it could be 45B, but there may be another one, and that would be cool because it would help us to like extend our networks and sort of get those loose ties. Um, yeah, yeah. So thank you for that comment. I'm posting it. I'm putting it as a comment here on the thing. And so many or another community DREP meeting space. Yeah, cool. That's a good point. All right, all right. Let's go to the next one. Just doing a little time check. If you're following along on YouTube, we are about an hour in, and we've got about 30 minutes left. And yeah, I think we're going along pretty good so far. We're in the middle of our monthly review. Okay. The next one is the Marlowe PBL. What was our last update here?
I think, I mean, I don't know if someone wants to talk about this. Like, I think Sebastian or James, I think it is getting canceled. Like, we decided to cancel the thing, I think.
That's correct. We've officially shut down this Catalyst proposal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we really, really tried, and as I love the guys who are trying to make Marlowe a thing. It was great spending time working with those guys, but I think Marlowe has a little bit too much stacked against it, and development is stalled for a variety of reasons. So no matter what plans we made, we could never quite get to the point where we were running the thing. What's exciting is that the ideals that Marlowe introduced are still relevant. And so some of you have been around long enough to remember the whole boondoggle of the Plutus application backend. Um, and this was a concept, right, that for a while we waited on the Plutus development team to deliver a fully working Plutus application backend, the PAB. And then eventually everybody realized, wait, we don't have to wait for that. We can build towards the goals that the PAB promised. And that's what happened. And now there's a robust ecosystem that abstracts from on-chain validator development into, multi-party systems that achieve what the PAB was designed to do. And so I think
Yeah.
we shouldn't forget about Marlowe. I think it's still worth going back historically and looking at what it was intended to do and carrying on with all of the best of that. But within the circumstances of Catalyst, we couldn't deliver a course about a non-existing product within the timelines that Catalyst required.
I love it. And that's a quote. And I see, oh yeah, with his hand up.
Hi everyone, good day.
Hi.
The pronunciation is OJ, by the way.
Oh, OG. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, actually it's my first time joining this space and I don't know, I would probably bring you guys back a little bit because I just want to like get the whole concept of Gimbal Labs, what it's about and how I can contribute. That I want to like know. I'm actually a software developer and I'm in Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. So I don't know if anybody can like clarify me on those. Thank you.
Sure. Oh, and thanks for
You,
chiming
you know
in.
what, Newman? I would
Yeah.
really love Emmanuel to answer this question.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we have a
Emmanuel has stepped out.
Nigerian.
Oh no.
He stepped
Yeah.
out. He's not here.
Come
But
on.
we
Well,
but we do have Jethro here. Mm.
yeah, no, because
So
we
if
have Jethro, we have
okay, good.
Ahmad,
We,
both
we
of
do
them
have
are like,
Lewis here. Lewis has been traveling.
Yeah, Lewis over in Kenya.
I should
So
have kept my mouth shut. But yeah, no problem.
Team Africa is in the house. Team Africa is in the house.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, I mean, yeah, just by following along, I mean, that was one of the discussions that we had, like what exactly is Gimbal Labs, but it's really what is it for you? We are a technical community. We are focused in on the Cardano governance side of things. Jethro, what do you think?
or Ahmad,
Hi
either of you.
guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I stepped out before. So
Nice.
Go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead. Yeah, what is
yeah,
Gimbal Labs to you? Yeah, we're all curious.
I think it just represents educational platform
Yeah,
based on the what I've seen so far is the technical stuff where people can learn. I'm talking about the Andamio structure now under the Gimbal Labs because I
yeah,
knew I learned some stuff from the Andamio platform when we were having our course during the Emmanuel put us through some things. We learned some stuff with the Gimbal Labs courses and everything. So I think Gimbal Lab just represents collaboration. Um, a place you can hang guys with cool guys and have fun. Talk about Cardano, the collaboration within it, and the rising technology. Yeah.
yep, yep.
You
And
know,
how can you participate in Gimbal Labs? Can anyone tell me? Like, if someone asks you that question, how can I participate in Gimbal Labs? What would you answer?
I think I'll just tell them to join the open spaces, meet up with guys, join the Discord, ask questions, get involved. From the Gimbal
yeah,
Labs
yeah.
website. Yeah, the link to the
And
Discord is there, the calendar.
don't ask
I
for
think everything,
permission.
yeah.
Don't ask for permission. And don't say that something should be done if you're not willing to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I like that. I like that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. You know, Okay, it's not my time to speak. I'll wait for my
No, go
report
for it. Yeah, go
time.
for it, man.
Go for it. Go for
Um,
it. All of us are speaking.
so this is one of the few challenges we were facing during the summit, yeah. And not because we don't know what Gimbalabs is, but follow-up and access to the information Gimbalabs has. So for example, if you check their website, it's literally just a one page with a few icons and not really much information unless you dig into it. And you were talking about participation, yeah. Participation on Discord and the open spaces. I mean, open spaces make sense because you just have to click on a Zoom link and join. But most people don't have Discord, right? They're
Oh, yeah.
access to the information on Discord for most Kenyans and a lot of other guys is scarce. Anyway, that was one of the challenges we were facing. Ayomi, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, you already said what I wanted to say because there was a day that I I wanted to like, okay, what exactly are they doing at Gimbalabs? Like, I wanted to like, okay, I wanted to understand better without, let me assume I don't join meetings and I just want to know what they do without joining their meetings. So when I clicked on the website, I just saw the one page thing, the Discord and the like, oh, how am I supposed to tell somebody like if they want to really understand what they do without coming to join meeting at first? So I think we need to like work on that. Even without people coming to join meetings, without people coming to do anything, they need to like understand what we are doing at Gimbalabs on the website. So that is one thing I would just love to say. Thank you.
Go ahead, Lewis. Oh, Lewis put his hand down. I
Okay.
think.
Oh my
I
days, sorry
mean,
about that. I
oh,
was muted.
oh.
Mm. So I was going to say, James said something really interesting. Don't ask for permission if you're not going to do it yourself or something like that. So I believe we need to like revamp the whole landing page. Also, we need to like include some information that people can just get without having to like scroll, go to their Twitter account. Yeah, probably don't even have Twitter. I mean, I kind of like how Andamio is because there's a frequently asked question, there's a roadmap. There's something, but I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm going on a rant, but it does seem like I'm going on a rant. But yeah. Yeah, that was one of the challenges. Should I continue, by the way, with the
No,
challenges
no,
we were
no.
facing?
I mean that's
No,
Oh,
this
we
is
will
wait, I
like
come.
see so many
yeah.
hands.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
we'll come to
so
that because we're coming to that proposal. Andrew, do you want to go quickly?
Yeah, I was just going to say, but I think about 18 months ago, there was a proposal to update the website. I'm not kind of sure what happened with it, but with the advent of agentic development, I'm sure a good new web Gimbalabs site could be delivered on a fraction of the budget now. It sounds like a perfect proposal for some maybe newer members to take on, possibly.
Ooh,
Yep,
actually,
yep.
that
Jethro,
sounds
go
good.
ahead.
Yeah, hi guys. So about the website thing, I think the one page website is actually good. It's fun to me. I don't know. I think it's self-explanatory as a one-page website, but there can just be a write-up or maybe just a visual or something just on that same one-page stuff to just make it like a little bit of information. But I don't like this issue of you scrolling through to get information. You have to scroll down to the footer of the website to see the links to the Twitter, to everything. I like as Gimbal Labs is just a page, and then you see all the icons, the Discord, the Twitter, and everything is just there. Like it doesn't stress you. I think that is very, very good. That it's quite fun. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's just be a write up or something, just enhance that a one page thing. I think it's still fine.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
That's a good one.
Roberto, do you want to go?
I love it. Love
I
it.
don't think the website itself is problem, honestly, yeah, like Andrew said, that's something that any agent can get you a nice, clean looking website. I think the copy is like I haven't really heard an answer to the question of what do we do here. There were some rules, but I remember when like I can say with a lot of precision what Gimbalabs did when I first found it, which was Gimbalabs was a place that you came to learn either for free or you could donate to learn to build on Cardano. That was it, right? Anything you found in Gimbal Labs had to do with builders, developers wanting to learn on Cardano. How that was done, that's a whole different topic, but that doesn't seem to be what it is now. So maybe one thing to start with is answering that question of when you go to gimbalabs.com, what are we telling people outside is what you do, not how you do it, but maybe why and what, right? I don't know if you guys have that, if there's somewhere like a mission or something that could be put
Interesting.
there.
Yeah.
And I just think we need to reorganize to figure out what our mission is all over again, because we do that every year, right? Because our mission
Yeah.
keeps changing a little bit every year. So once we do that, I think it'll be perfect to put it on the website.
So this is really great because one of the things that we've done at least the last year, and it feels like we did it the year before, that we would have, and I called it the governance season. I'm all about the seasons. And we didn't do it this year at the end of the year because it felt a little forced. But it feels like now there is like a bit of a call for it. The one thing about like that we all got together to do building and to onboard builders on Cardano. This is that solve meaningful problems thing. But it seems like we aged out and now we're applying those things. But like it's like the community sort of, it's like a tree that grew and it needed to learn, and so it's learning things, and now it's sort of a cohort has gone, but it feels like maybe there's a new cohort that needs to learn, that needs to do those sort of nursery, smaller things like beginning steps, and then we can add on like the governance things and the other things that we've been doing. Maybe this fits in with that technical, non-technical. So that's good. That's good discussion and a reason to reflect on projects. That's great. So
Only
Roberta,
thing
yeah.
that I would say is, I think like Gimbal Labs has this sort of moral obligation to the community, because the reason why it's gotten so much support and it has funding is because of the work that it did to become what it did, right? There's this idea of Gimbal Labs as being stewards of education. We talk about solving meaningful problems. I think that's still a very meaningful problem in Cardano. There's no longer the IOG Academy, Emergo. The only one that's, I think, doing education is Cardano Foundation, and that's never good. I remember, like, when I started Emergo, the course was like $900 and it sucked. And Cardano Foundation is doing more of but the resources for builders are now just like courses. Mesh is doing it. There's an Aiken, there's a Go. So there's a clear direction there of I don't know, like people come here and they ask, like, the reputation precedes you, right? So there is this stewardship problem. So if you're going to do DREP, you might as well do it with a focus on education and onboarding. I think, right? Because otherwise, it might feel like a rug pull to the community to think about, well, now they're just doing a whole other thing. No, wait, we gave them funding because they did this whole thing before. So even if it doesn't need to necessarily be we do courses or whatever, it can be just how do we promote onboarding and education as a free resource, as a public. That's a very noble mission, I think. Just that initial thing of shouldn't pay for education. I think, ever. But but donations are fine, whatever. But there should be free educational resources available to the community, no matter what type of community that is, no matter what type of project. That's I think that's something that people can get behind and get support, and so Gimbal Labs can grow within that mission, and that gives a clear mandate, right? That tells you exactly what we're here to discuss and how to. So you can look at courses, you can look at stuff on Andamio or any other platform, and figure out how you can help, or we can figure out, support those kinds of initiatives. I don't know.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. Let me also add on to what Roberto was talking about. Do you guys remember the Gimbalabs Grade website?
Yeah.
Gimbalabs.
Yeah, the previous one, right? Yeah.
Oh, the last website,
one.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, that last website had a lot of the introduction courses you may be interested in. Sorry, let me say that again. You may be interested in when you're starting your Cardano journey. Remember the Cardano starter kit and things like that. I mean, I feel like we should bring that back. I don't know, man, because most of the guys who came to our booth, they're like, how do I get started? I'm telling you, join our open spaces. And then these guys check their website. There's no like email to send. I mean, apart from the sign up, there's no email address to send to. There's no email address to contact. I mean, yeah.
You need an Andamio contributor token.
Yeah.
I'm loving this conversation because like how to get started and then how to say or how to recognize yourself as a Gimbalabs member. Like that I think is something. For instance, I feel like, and one of the things that was really sticky to me was the profile. We had a Miro board where it had everybody's profile. I'm sure it's still there, and you can see like super builders, like they're like putting down like, oh yeah, I'm here, I'm interested in starting some kind of thing, and it's like, holy crap, that's the guy. Like Jingles has one, Henson has a little profile, and they're like, yeah, I'm sort of thinking about doing it. It's just amazing.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I would love to see, I mean, I don't know. Stuff is neither good nor bad, but it would be interesting if we had like a membership page. It's like, hey, yeah, I want to put my face or contact on a Gimbalabs membership so that you can see, or some Web3 indexed, it's just like, oh, here are the people that are holding this token, and these are the contributors or something. Yeah.
It also reminds me of one guy I met here who said they've been through Gimbalabs, they know about Gimbalabs, they're even in the Discord channel, right? But the main problem they were facing was structure, right? Everything is scattered, man. You find the guys come to Gimbalabs, they do for example, they did the Cardano starter kit, and then they disappear to do other courses somewhere else. And then after they've gained some enough information, they come back to Gimbalabs. So I'm thinking we should probably do something because most guys come here thinking it's a one-stop shop. It is a one-stop shop. But then in regards to like gaining more knowledge, you'll find that Gimbalabs doesn't have everything you may need to know. Anyway.
Yeah. I came across this that I just shared in the anyway, but yeah, I would love to see some type of structure. The right amount of structure, like a structure that is living and like a tree structure as opposed to something a life cycle. Yeah. So
I'm looking at your website. The website you just shared the roadmap for something like this,
Yeah, and then it's just something that you can gauge where you are and you get some self-assessment. I think that's sort of a part of it, like having agency, and it's like, okay, and then when we do it as a network of learners and we can all sort of the fist of five thing. It's just like you can self-assess. It's like, hey, this is something that I need, something I don't need. And if you do that in a group, if you do that in a, like a school of fish or a murmuration of birds, like there's like a pack that you can kind of start, the sum being more than the parts. Meaning there's stuff that you can learn on your own, but I think there's more things that you can do as a part of a group, and that's been a
Okay,
focus of mine. All right.
no,
Let's
yeah,
go.
because we need to
Let's
get
go.
through the
Let's go.
monthly review quickly. So we have
Yes,
only
yes,
10
yes,
minutes
yes.
left. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 10 minutes. Oh, geez. Okay, here, let me share my screen and we're gonna go through these next projects. Speaking of, because the very next project is Notion accounts. So one of the things about membership is that you can have a Notion account. And I want to talk about these Notion accounts. I think that we had a plan to review them in March. So March is next week. So hey, let's review these accounts. We can reach out to the people that are on there. I think here's a list of all the people. Like Ken and Kevin, I haven't heard from in a minute. Lawrence Lay, Monique, have we heard from? Ratio, Simon, Steve, Lockhart. We should reach out to them and say, hey, do you need a Notion account? Does that sound good to everybody? James?
I have a question for James. James, are we paying for everyone right now?
We
All
have.
these names?
Yeah, it's probably a good time to reconsider this. I mean, and before we start reach out, the first question would be, do we still need Notion? Right? We're using it right here, and that's great. But if all we're using it for is facilitation, we could probably have a minimum number of accounts.
Absolutely. I kind of want to underscore that because one of the reasons why I was like okay with Notion is because it's like a skill. It's like if you learn Notion, then you're going to work for a team that uses Notion. I would propose we could switch to a different tool, like a tooling that everybody uses, and perhaps it's GitHub. GitHub does with like projects and issues, and that could be an alternative. And if I get any kind of like positive feedback on that, Andrew has given me some positive feedback on that. Like I could draft a proposal for like what happens after Notion. I thank you for mentioning that, James, because I know that it's tough to change the tooling, but it would be kind of interesting to see what it would do. Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, just echoing what you say, Newman. Notion is great, but it's great when you run a project and you contribute to a project. But a lot of the time, we aren't always doing that. So I'm not sure it's particularly necessary. Yeah, maybe one or two people might keep it for running Gimbalabs, and yourself and Harsha, but it doesn't really feel like I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed, yeah.
Well,
Go
then
ahead, James.
can you guys speak to, because Andrew and Newman and Harsha, you guys have been leading the development of Go PBL and you've really leaned into using GitHub for that. Can GitHub do just as well what we thought Notion might do when we started using it this way?
I think when we're building a project like that, yes. Whether all projects will fit that bill, I don't know, but we're writing code. So, well, we're not particularly writing code, but we're reviewing code and we're writing out lessons. From that perspective, I think it can definitely do it, in my opinion.
I think that part of it is having like these issues, like the things that you can do here. Like they've got projects, they've got issues like for commenting, they do all sorts of stuff. And then what I was talking about before about everybody having a profile. Ayomi, I'm about to put you on the spotlight because like I think it would be so cool if we just had everybody's profile. Look at Ayomi's profile. Like super, super cool. You can see contributions, a great photo. You can see all this stuff. You can put down, for instance, my profile, I've got it as like a real, profile that's got like my current projects and all this sort of stuff. Not to mention your other repos. This is a part of the Notion that I think that we haven't had much engagement because it's like an extra tool. So you asked about like, could we use it for other things? It seems like the Notion was it was never front and center. That really where we were was in GitHub. So yeah, GitHub could be the spot in my opinion. All right.
I mean, yeah, I agree with both like Newman and Andrew. I just think like it'll not be as newcomer friendly, because it's a bit of a
Yeah.
pain in the
Yeah.
ass for newcomers to figure out
Yeah.
No
GitHub.
Notion is that newcomer friendly, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
No, that's
Wow.
true.
And Notion, you're locking yourself into a proprietary platform, which of course Git is as well. But right, learning how
Yeah.
Git works is the kind of level up we want to empower people with.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Whereas
yep,
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
Notion,
sense, makes sense.
wonderful, powerful tool, great for running a team. We're not a team. We're a loose
Yeah.
collective, and we're trying.
Yeah.
We talked earlier in this conversation about enabling people to do things, prioritizing education. If we want to talk about literacy, if we want to talk about people owning their own data and collaborating, Git is a reasonable, essential part of that toolkit that's not going anywhere.
Yep.
Just
And
I
I
was
think that go
sorry.
ahead, Andrew.
Well, I was just on spinning off the back of what James was saying there. So when I create sites for clients, I actually create them their own personal GitHub account and sort of encourage them to look at it because I give them the code at the end. That's kind of the whole my selling point. So I really, yeah, just
Well,
picking up what
and
you're just saying there.
for anybody who's playing with agents, right? Like the Git repository of Markdown files is turning into one of the most productive ways to share knowledge in the first place, even if it's not code.
Yeah.
So, to exactly what you're saying, Andrew, right? What I agree with you regarding a code repo, but a knowledge repo is starting to turn into the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hearing beginner friendly, like the things that Notion does. Okay, so but this is good conversation, and for the note takers out there, I definitely want to return to this. Um, I think it fits in with our website. It fits in with the sort of mission, and it goes into the tooling, which is and it's an expense, and it's an expense to keep up Notion. Okay. Next one is
Can I ask one quick
oh
question on that one? So if we officially cancel that account, would that be something that we can do without a proposal because to stop spending money is a fair idea?
yeah.
Yep. At this
Um,
point, yes.
Let's
One
so
small
like
question, James, here. How would you do you think we should migrate first, like move all of this stuff to GitHub and then
yeah.
cancel
Mm,
it? Or will we have access to all of this stuff we created even if we cancel it?
we can turn off like everybody but you, me, and
right.
Newman
Right, right,
Sure.
right.
Okay.
start, and then
Yep.
we can take on that work. Um, yeah, and keeping the essentials, migrating everything, we would spend hours that we might not want to, but maybe like an open garage experiment, hooking up to a Notion MCP and migrating what we can with minimum
Yes.
amount of time could be a satisfying exercise.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe you can put like a small 500 ADA budget aside
Yeah.
for migration. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's a good idea. And then speaking of migration, we got to move the sustain and maintain treasury from V1 to V2.
Oh,
Right,
yes. Yes.
right.
Yeah. I think
That's
we
that's
should do that publicly. Or should we do that publicly? Up to you.
that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so those are two administrative things we can handle. Let me check the Notion billing date because that would be our deadline for finishing this.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. And that's definitely actionable. I've been sitting on that because I was like, no one, and I'm glad to get some traction. Does anybody, just in the interest of like a consent round, based on what you know about this proposal about shutting down, um, do you have like a hard objection? And we'll do this more, we'll do it depending on when our timeline is, to Notion. Are you like, is there somebody here that's just like, oh man, if Notion goes away, it's gonna be a real big problem for me. Lewis says, bye bye, Notion. Um, I don't think I'm gonna get too many, but if there is anybody here, um, that is, and even though I think next week I can make it a priority to build something so we can do a little consent, because it does feel like it's a big thing, and I do understand the timeline, but I think we can make like a proposal just as because it's such like a big thing, and we could also add something about the website, because I think that might be a non-tech, like less technical, or a technical in the non-Web3 stack, which there is a ton of overlap. Like if you can build a website, it doesn't mean necessarily that you can build on Web3, but if you build on Web3, then you can build a website. So yeah,
Yeah.
just in the sense of like knowing, React, like just knowing like how to get into GitHub and the terminal commands and the sort of way computers work, markup languages. You know what I mean? It's like even if you build your website in Go or Python, not necessarily TypeScript, JavaScript. Yeah, as Lewis says, you should be able to. We don't know these. But that being said, I'm super stoked about this. We're at the end of our time. We only have a couple minutes left.
I think we should take like a couple of minutes like next week and like go finish off like uh the remaining proposals as well.
What if we do a working session next week, right? Where we exchanged a lot of ideas today. But how many action items are all of us leaving with?
Yes. Got a
So
few.
what if we go back to we could
Oh,
the time just working together? And
okay.
by the way, the billing date is March 14th, so we got 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay.
That a notion.
Okay.
All right.
That might be kind of fun to do a little hybrid thing on on March 5th. We could, because we used to do this process slightly differently, where we'd have breakout rooms and work on topics. We would have like these were building time. So yeah, that could be something fun. A working time, working group on tasks. All right, and then definitely want to add like get us last three. And we could also do it in a different way, but I definitely want to end on time, because ending on time is respectful of everybody's thing. It really was a great session. Now is the time where we just say goodbye. Anybody have anything to chime in? Maybe from the newcomers or from folks. Anybody want to just jump in?
Yes, I want to jump in.
Hey.
Yeah, find a body and do something meaningful.
Yes. Yes. That's what Gimbalabs means to me. Find a buddy, do something meaningful. And we get the chance to do that each week, and I really do appreciate it. Harsha is one that's behind the scenes helping me all the time. Thank you everybody for joining. Roberto and